Thank you, Virginia. Saverio Pesapane, representing Premier Film, that has maybe another approach to the distribution. You do mostly festival distribution, that sales, but you will explain better than me.
Yes. So good morning, everyone. I'm Saverio Pesapane from Premier Film. Actually, we are distributors. We also are. We also made sales, and we're also producers. And but first of all, I really would like to thank you for this meeting, to thank Jacopo and the organization, because I think it's really important. This is not the first time that we distributors meet. No, with Elenfant, with ZenMovie, with Lights On also, we already had meetings. And I think this is crucial for our industry, for a very simple reason. I think that a transformation already happened in the last year in short movies. And I'm not talking about, let's say, the transformation of the, let's say, the quality of the movies. You were telling that there are still, let's say, steps to do, and this is true. But I also think that, let's say, looking at from a wider point of view, in the last 10 years, really in the short movie industry happened something. Okay, we are looking at incredible movies, even if the problems you're talking about are true. But something happened, and you know, like in politics happens, there were holes to fill, and one big hole was the distribution. No, until recent years, distribution was distributors, short film distributors were still, let's say, a strange object that the industry was looking at, and so the real changes needs to happen in the whole chain. Let's say the production is the idea, the starting of the idea about the short film. It's the real starting. Then you have the production, then you have the distribution, and the buyers. We need to, let's say, to make the whole chain works. And the way we can do this, in my opinion, is to talk, is to, let's say, to become something. You know, we already spoke about being, let's say, a subject. You know, like the association of distributors, and this can be true also for other subjects that work in the short movies, because the main problem is that short movies were always in the corner of the industry, because they're cheaper, because they're less interesting, because, you know, for a lot of reasons, historical, let's say, reason. But what I'm talking about is that the short movies in themselves, the movies themselves, are becoming even more and more and more interesting every year, every month. And this is true in general. So what we need is to support this industry, everyone making its part. And the way we can, let's say, make pressure on the industry, on the big media, on the, you know, on the important players, to put the short movies on the you know, let's say, on the main light, is to work together. Is to understand together, to act like, again, to act like what we are, a group of people that are working on the same kind of genre. It's not a genre, but on the same kind of, let's say, product, let's call it this. That is a short movie. So again, you know, it's early in the morning, but you already heard a lot of interesting things. I agree about the necessity, about the production, about the cinema law to be simplified, because it's foolish to think that we need to face the same bureaucracy that we have for features. When you make a short movie, you have less money, so you have less energy. And to fulfill a complete, complex bureaucracy means to spend money, that's it, and to spend your time. And at the same time, I agree that, let's say, there's still a gap between Italian and international production. To be honest, I also have another, let's say, idea in my mind. I think that we have an incredibly, let's say, broad view on the Italian production. We know everything about the Italian production, while, let's say, from abroad arrives here the best. So probably if you really go to look deep in you know, abroad production, you will find a lot of diversity, like in Italy. So let's say, about the quality of the production, I'm a bit more positive than you. I mean, there are problems, but I think that really, I'm looking at...
negative. I just wanted Italian filmmakers to have the opportunity to speak up, you know, because they have so many good ideas and so many chances that are waiting to have
No, that's true, that's true. You wanted to make it better. So, yeah.
You give me the opportunity to ask you all something. Are you a member of some association, like there is AGC, for instance, for young independent producer and distributors, or not? Are you a member of any association? No.
We as a company, we are not.
No. Maurizio, vieni su. No, because you
I totally agree with you, but what I was telling about is that, again, let's not call it association, okay? But we are, no, but that's important. I mean, again, we are a group of people. From a certain point of view, I mean, we are competitors, no? If you look from, let's say...
You actually are.
Yes, but this doesn't mean that we, I mean, the point is that we are, of course, competitors, but we are working on the same kind of, again, I call it product. Let's call it, let me use this name. The point is that we all have the same kind of objectives, in a way. Okay, we want that what we are dealing with, the short movies, again, we need and we want that it has to be put in on the main light and no more on the corner. So we want to move something from a place and put on another place that is more important, because we really believe that this thing, the short movies, deserves this. They're becoming more interesting and more. So how can we do? It's obvious to me that if we act together, it's easier for us to work in this direction, and this is something that everyone can benefit from. Everyone from this industry.
Yeah, I think I'm totally agree, and I think that this could be something that could change definitely the idea of a short movie. I think that in every industry business or in every category, there's a common target, there's a common view. So if also in the sport and in every field, there are competitors, but there are the same point of view, the same target, more or less, for that on you are working on. So to make a step, I think this could be the most important thing to do, and to grow up all together, and to make the short movie recognizable from all the industry, all the cinema industry. Because just with an association of category, maybe we could make our voice higher and speak with all the other categories. And because if I go to another association of distributor for future films, or if I go to the minister, to MIBAC, and I go, I'm Adam Selo from Elenfant Distribution. Yeah, nice to meet you. The bathroom on the right over there. So I think it's very important to make it official and to find the way to do it, even if we are so different, even if you have a target in your, and I have another target, and Virginia has another one. So we have to talk about this. Maybe this today could be the first day in which we have the same direction, but I think we have to change something, but we have to do it right now, and this year, in 2019, maybe we will remember in all the history of cinema, 2000.
Saverio, how many films do you have in your lineup, and how many Italian films?
I don't have the exact number of Italian films, but in this moment we have more than 100 films, and yeah, and I think we have a number that is closer to 200 in this moment actually. This is a difference between us and the other distributors, and you know, this is something that we decided, let's say, at a certain point, because we thought this was, let's say, a kind of strategy. We thought that what we needed was the strength again, to try to do something. And the strength that we will find, I'm sure, in a more, let's say, powerful way if we create a kind of collaboration between us. To have the strength to put, again, the short movie in the right light. So for us, the catalog has always been very important, because to have a wider catalog, it transforms you in a subject that is more interesting to buyers, in general to the industry world. And you know, we worked a lot. We created this Premiere Film platform that is, let's say, an online tool that it becomes a way to communicate with the producers that are distributing for us. And you know, we obtained the variety cover during the Cannes Film Festival, the variety, one of the daily cover. This example, is an example of what we are talking about when we say that we want to put, let's say, the short movie in a more interesting light, if you compare it to the one that was, let's say, under 2 in the last years. And you know, there's also another thing that I want to.
Please.
A totally different thing, but I think it's one of the most important things when we talk about short movies, that it's, let's say, the way that people, cinema lovers I'm talking about, the way they deal with short movies. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are cinema lovers, okay? Just regular people, not in the industry, and they know everything about a lot of directors. They go sometimes 3-4 times a week to cinema. Just friends that I used to spend my time to go to cinema. In general, they don't know anything about short movies. They never, I mean, I have friends that they have seen, you know, complete filmography, all the great directors. They never watched a short movie. I think it's very important to, let's say, to question us the reason why this happens. And I think that, for example, the work that Artex is making is fundamental, you know, because people in general go to cinema to see movies, or also in other ways, and this is something that really needs to change if we really want to make a real changing in this world.
Do you work with distributors, with Italian distributors, and foreign distributors as well? You work with foreign distributors as well, and Italian distributors, I guess. Lavori con distributori italiani?
Yes, we work both with foreign distributors and Italian distributors. Yeah, I agree with Adam and Saverio, and I wanted to add an opinion about what you told now. We asked a lot to people who came to our screenings, what they thought about short movies before coming to the screenings and after coming to the screenings. A lot of people told us that they thought short movies were only an artistic or specific product for people who knows a lot about cinema, or artists, or something similar. They crazy people, yeah. They didn't. They come out from the cinema saying that they didn't imagine short movies could be so different between them, and so very full of content and of emotions. And they are all every time they are all surprised for the contents of the short movies. And listening your talks, I say that we collaborate with every one of you in different ways, because we see in an external view, because we do this. We have the same target, but we all do we are trying to reach the target in different ways. But we have the same main target, that is to create a market for short movies, to create more opportunities, and then it's normal to do it in different ways. So, but for the reason that is a little market at the moment, every different idea for me is good to do it in order to increase the Italian and the international market of shorts. So looking it from an external point of view, we see that all you have and we have the same target. And so for me, this is a very important thing.
Just to be concrete, as a producer and distributors, how much does an Italian film cost, more or less, average, let's say, and how much you can earn from a short film now in Italy? If you can answer, you can all answer.
Well, a short movie can cost 1,000 euro to 100,000 euros. So yeah. we can we can. Yeah, it depends if it's in independent production, if you have funds or not. So, but the common answer, I think that in every short movie is very difficult to earn. If you go even, maybe it's a very good target. If you are very lucky, I think in every year there are 5, 6, maximum 10 short movies that could earn something more than what they spent. So in this moment, there's not a business in the for the short movie in the way you could think in the way of the future film. You don't have the same entrance of money for the short film. Everyone knows, no?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No, in which sense? You're not sure?
In the sense that there is a crisis in the Italian theater,
yeah,
also
sure.
For features.
No, sure. So, no, in this moment it's very difficult to go even.
To earn money.
in the cinema in general. Overall, in this moment, short movie, because the only way to earn something is sometimes the prize of the world in the festival, and because it's harder and harder selling in Italy, for example, short movies to buyers in Europe. Maybe the quality is an important point, in which we have to grow up, and maybe if we get the level higher, maybe we will sell more and more short films in Europe and all in the world. But in this moment, we have to be sincere. There's not a way of big business on short movie, but I think there's a big potential.
Virginia Severio?
I agree with what Adam said, totally. This is really the issue. Actually, there was an improvement in the past years, because now we want to make better films, so we want to invest more if we are able to. For my own experience as a distributor, we have won the Golden Globe, the Globo d'Oro, with a short film, Stai Sereno, by Daniele, who was produced with 300 euro. So when you have a strong idea, of course you can make some little jewel, but it's so hard. I cannot say that this must be the reference, because there are so many good ideas that need money to be brought on image. So yeah, we are doing our effort to expand the panorama, also for the sales, and also for the festival awards, which are increasing, and I'm very happy about that. Even in Italy, there are so many more festivals that recognize some even little award in cash for the filmmakers. So this is great, and I believe that we are going in a good direction, and I believe that the work that we are doing together in our differences, because also the filmmaker has to choose which is the quality of the distribution that he prefers to give the short film to. This is making this industry even more concrete. And I believe that if we are a team in our differences, we can really go forward very fast, because we are going very fast. Really, we can speak about a couple of years that we are going so fast. So I'm happy. I'm really happy about that.
Yes, I think that what you were saying is really interesting from a production point of view. It's really true that you can make a short movie with maybe less than 1,000 euro, and it's really true that you have movies that cost more than hundreds of thousands of euro. And the richness of this sector, of this world, is that they can easily go together on the same, let's say, screenings, in the same festival, and they work together. I mean, and this is something that, if you think about it, it's really rare in other kind of industry. In features, it never happens. You know, you are very separate. The production really influences the quality. The short movie has, because it's a world full of, you know, let's say, not only young, but in general, really fresh production. You know, also the self-production sometimes are very interesting. The only important thing, of course, is that if you have a project that needs 100, you can't make it with 10. This is a mistake. But if you have a good project that can be made with 10 or maybe with 1, you have to do it. I'm talking about the producers, because it can work amazingly. And we have a lot of examples about this. So, of course, if you have such a difference in the production, let's say, costs, it's very different also to talk about what does it mean to earn. No? And, but again, also about this, I think that if we all work, and if let's say the short movie starts to be crucial in this industry, if it puts in the right light from the media attention and from the industry in general, also the earnings can improve. I already think that there was an improving in the last years, but there's a lot of space to, let's say, to make it better.
Daniele, you wanted to?
Actually, I'm partially agree about what you're saying, because I think that yes, we can do as producer a project with 300 euros, but I think that if you want that the short industry increase, we have to think to work with more budget, to pay people, to pay crew, and that this can increase also our awareness to grow in the industry. So yes, I think maybe it can be a rare case, but as producer we don't have to think in this way. Because maybe a young director, yes, no, can. It's like Roberto Rodriguez when he shot El Mariachi with 7,000. It was $7,000, I think. It was 20 years ago. Yes. Then he did Desperado with I think $10 million. So I think it was a case. But I think that as producer we don't have to think in that way, because it can be dangerous for the industry. If we want to create an industry awareness of this field.
No, you're right. You're right. I absolutely didn't want to, let's say, to give you some suggestion to make movies with 1,000, but yeah, but. Sure. No, I was only saying, you know, that again, the short movie in itself has this richness that comes from very, very different background, very different kind of production, and very often this kind of these products that are made in such a different way, they can work together. I mean, they can be shown together, and that's a richness, I think, for the industry. Even if I totally agree with you, I mean, what we are saying here that we need more attention, more importance to short movies, and this needs more money from in all, let's say, the different phases of the process. You're right.
Sorry, I want to add something about the law. It would be interesting if they could begin to think about changing one aspect of the law, which is the fact that the funds arrived after the producer puts the money, you know. This is something that it's really hard for a little producer to do. So if the funds arrive after he has to anticipate, this starts
to ask the bank.
Impossible. So you can have a great idea in your mind, but you're not able to put so much money on the table and wait so many months before you get them back from the fund. So this is another aspect that I just throw in the air.
Yeah, I'm agree. I want to add something about giving, just
last
thing,
and then,
giving more economic power to the short movie during the distribution. No, I wanna. I tried to tell to Mastro Mauro and Virginia some months ago. We have to start to communicate the important economic value economic value of the short movie. When festivals, not competitions, when rassegne, when events, retrospective, ask for short movies, we have to ask some fees, because people in the short movie in the industry are used to ask short movies. We are going to have a screening, and please give us some shorts, and we totally give for free all the short movies that they want. But we have to start, all distributors, we have to start to give a price to all this. A little, also symbolic. Offer something for this short movie, because there are professionals in this.
And in Europe, it's totally normal.
Yeah, there is Amos Geva that wants to speak. Yeah, Amos Geva from TIP. Can you present yourself, please, quickly?
I believe that the short films are the step before the feature film, totally. We believe so much in filmmakers that we really put them in front of all our communication as distributors. So for us, the importance of the filmmaker is the number one. And we want to really accompany them for the next step. So when we take care of a short film, we do it really at the highest level, because they need to be considered as filmmakers, complete filmmakers. So they gain knowledge and also importance from the eyes of the people that have to recognize them as filmmakers.
Are there questions? You want to add something, Taveri? No? Okay, I don't know you, but I need a coffee. So there is the coffee break, and we will be here again at 11:30 with festivals and film schools and televisions, okay, and the discussion.